Hello and welcome to this Warno 1v1 game played on Factory Duel between the new Paris div played by Rip Khamenei, and he's going up against Company Group Team playing 5th Panzer Division. So we'll go through the deck reviews and then we'll get back to it. Right, so this is Rip Khamenei's deck and he's playing as the new Paris Division. Got a 2-hour guide on how to play the new Paris Division, and there are a lot of similarities here. There are a few differences. Basically, it's an airspan div, so there's a reason I've got 7 playing cards. You can play it on the ground if you want, but that's not what it's about. So he's only got 6 playing cards. He doesn't bring the gig in. That's not particularly surprising these days. Gig in really aren't that amazing. Not having the military police guys is a bit weird though, because well, your reservists don't have any military police with them, right? You see, I bring the gendarme mobile here. And the other thing is you probably don't need 2 cards of VBCs. Tends to be you don't buy that many of those. Although I've got the CV one. Oh no, he's got the CV one, I don't. And yeah, if you're going to bring this, it should be vetted because you don't need 9 of them. And this thing is like, it's decent against infantry, but it's only got good optics. So you need something to go with your tanks so your tanks can actually see. And if it's this, well, your tank still can't see very much. So I use this. If you want something a bit more armoured, you could use this one, because it's got very good optics, you see, whereas this is only good optics. This is better against infantry, because this little... It's supposed to be a mortar, but for whatever reason, it just doesn't function as a mortar in this game, but it is a mortar in real life. So, yeah, it's decent against infantry, because it ignores cover and so on. Yeah, the EpiPen's really good. Yeah, I can't really see you needing 2 cards of EBC 90. I think you'd be better off bringing a card of P4 Milans. So you've got a fast Milan too, you can get into places. And then in terms of the arty, I have seen people bring this over this one because it is a little bit more survivable, because you know, you can move it faster, you don't have to do the whole pack up thing, you can just move it, but for me it's not really worth it. So I can still move these. But yeah, this is a little bit more survivable. An M270 MLRS will kill both of them. Which brings us to the next division, which is Company Group Team playing 5th Panzer. And he's not bringing the M270 MLRS, known as the Mars. This thing is really, really useful, actually. And it's a lot more useful than having 6 howitzers. If you buy 6 howitzers, you're going to lose. So the way I would do it is... mortars for smoke, I prefer the towed ones because you get more of them and they both die to counter battery. And then, yeah, you can either have the 105s for hurting people or the 155s for hurting people, and then the Mars, and then you've got 2 AP spare instead of 1, right? Like, this could just be the 105s, and you can bring them closer, and then when they start shooting back, you hit them with the Mars. Put the CV next to the Mars. And then you can get the Leopard 1A, 1A, 1A1s at 2 vet for the early game. Because if you're playing on a map like Ica and you open Leopard 2, well, Leopard 2 is probably going to get blown up by a plane and then you're going to lose the middle. So it can be worth literally just buying 3 Leopard 1A, 1A1s at the start and going from there, but you're still probably going to lose to T72 div in Ica. It's very hard. So I'm not sure what the point of these guys is. Yeah, I would just bring another card of Panzer Grenadier and the Marder 1A2 Milan personally, and then this should definitely be at 1 vet. I don't, you know, I think you might run out of infantry. I bring the MG team as well, but that's a 3-point slot. I think this is all good. Oh, yeah, what? Why aren't you bringing the Fernspeer? That's very, very strange. You're not bringing your airborne forward deployment ground surveillance radar 100km/h opener unit. That's very strange, doesn't make any sense. And yeah, you do need a lot of AA on this div because you get cyberbullied by planes a lot. I have these upvetted, like this I might have downvetted and then this will be upvetted, this will be upvetted. You don't have to do that, but you do get cyberbullied by planes a lot as this div, given what he's up against, a plane spam div. And then, yeah, I have my air tab exactly like that. Cluster HE, Rocket, and AA planes, so yeah, that's oh yeah. Also, like, you want this in the Fox Milan really? Because then you've got an extra Milan, a wheeled Milan, which you don't really have anywhere else. And yeah, I'd definitely be swapping this out for just another card of Mardas. Uh, 2 cards of supply is a bit on the low end, to be honest. What would you get rid of? 2, 4, 6 CVs. Probably this. And ironically, like, what is that doing for you? What is that doing for you? I mean, you've not got the MMG team, so maybe you need it. But yeah, 2 cards of supply is a bit on the low end. You might find yourself running out of supply. You could always get rid of the Leopard 1A, 1A1s. But honestly, I think you need them. I think the way I run it is I've got 1 fewer card of Leopard 2A3s. Because that gives you 2 AP and then you can get more of supply, right? It's up to you. It's up to you. Let's cast the game. Right, so with that out of the way, 5th Panzer should win this quite easily because basically all he has to do is buy all his Pioneer Flam. And then kill everybody with his Pioneer Flam. Make sure he's got the Roland set up because the air spam is only going to be coming in on one zone. So the air spam doesn't work against concentrated AA positions. So it should be pretty straightforward for the 5th Panzer player, to be honest. Yeah, he gets the Pioneer Flam, and frankly, Paris's urban fighting is very weak, which is surprising given that it's supposed to be an urban fighting div, but there it is. Its tanks are light on the armor. The idea is they go around the sides and stuff. Well, that's not happening here, is it? So it's going to be a pretty tough gig for the Paris player. Looking at the deployments, this guy doesn't bring his Fernschwehr because he likes losing. So he's got a picket line of Aufklärers, Jäger Going to most of the usual spaces. This, right, should probably, for 5 points more, that can be a Lux, and it can go there, and then you can move it. As opposed to just leaving some infantry there, which, you know, it's just going to sit there for the whole game. So he's getting the tall building, and yeah, we got the Lux coming in. Recon Helo for the flank. ATGM Helo for the flank. That could just be another Lux, to be frank. Like, Lux there, maybe. Well, a VBC would kill it, so I understand why he's done it that way. Gepards, Villingers, Jaguar 2s, Leopard 1A5s, 2 Milan 2s in the openers. Where's the second one going? Right. You want to put it here? And like this could have just been a Lux, right? This could have been an email. You got to be cost efficient. It's going to take them a while for something to get around there anyway, and so you can reinforce it in the next minute. Your opener is very important. He's got a CV for Alpha, which he's then leaving in Alpha because he's just reversing it there, and then he's not sending it to Charlie Bravo. So, okay. Switching to his opponent's deployment. We've got 6 ATGM helos. That's a bit much. I appreciate they're crap, these ones, but there is such a thing as diminishing returns. Probably just do 3 if you're going to do this. And the idea is, yeah, you put 1 there, 1 there, 1 there, and they start shooting ATGMs. The problem with these is that they're 40% accuracy and they're really slow. But if you've got 6, then, well, that's 210 points just on ATGM helos. So I think that's a lot, possibly too much, right? And yeah, so he's expecting like Lux around the side or something. Well, this could have been a VBC 90. And then you can send that around the side yourself, and, you know, it's a lot of helos. And then we've got some AML gendarmes, which only have good optics, but they're decent against infantry. The EpiPens, but only 1. You want to open with all 3 of your EpiPens here, really. Because, well, he should have Fernschwehr coming the other way, but he doesn't. But yeah, you could put like 1 there, 1 here, and I'd have 1 up here. Or you can put it here if you actually want it to be shooting. Because that's one of your best units, and it's got the airborne forward deployment. And you just make sure you don't sell the transport, because that's actually military police transport, so you want to keep that around, put it with your tanks, etc. And we got a bunch of reservist MMG teams, reservist sappers, but no military police to buff up the reservist sappers. And not vetted Cerberus. So then that's his. I suppose he's got the jet. I'm surprised he's open with this. I'm not sure what the. Like this guy doesn't get good aid. Oh, I suppose to protect the helos. It's to protect the helos, isn't it? So maybe that makes sense. Milan 1 there as well. He has opened a CV. He's got a reservist declares on this side. So let's cast the game. Right, so they're off, and it's time for me to thank the generous channel joiners, generously joining the channel. They get their names on the screen, they get the videos early, they get members exclusive videos. They also get a Steam key for my game Hearst Hero, which is on Steam. I've had a lot of people say things like, look, I'd love to support the channel, but I don't want to give my money to YouTube. Well, if you want to give your money to Steam, you could get my game on Steam. And if you don't want to give any money at all, there's the usual ways of helping out. Liking the video, commenting, subscribing, and wishlisting my game on Steam, because I have a game on Steam, and it works exactly the same way as YouTube works. The more people wishlist it, the more it gets recommended to people, and the better it is. So, basically, after the first one got strafed by the Mirage, the second one should have landed. He's out of bullets, so he can't actually hurt this now. Anyway, these so far have accomplished nothing. I suppose he forced him to unload, but yeah, the missiles are very slow and they're just not very good. He's put a lot here, blimey. Usually nobody comes over here. If one of these was a recon helo, then you can just check that real quick, just fly over. Oh, yeah, there's nobody there. Come back. And then this, you can just swing around back into mid, because you do kind of need it in mid. These reservist sappers are not bad. But yeah, generally, I mean, you'd expect both players to be kind of pushing with their units, trying to take the ground. So this would go forwards, forwards. This would go forwards. The issue, of course, is that Pioneer Flam eats reservist sappers for breakfast. Pioneer Flam is completely broken. 5th Panzer and 2nd Panzer, never really been weak. Now they're even stronger. It's one of those things, I suppose. It's sort of like how 101st Airborne gets buffed every patch. Whoops, another indirect buff for 101st Airborne. It made choppers more survivable. Who does this help? So, this gendarme thing is actually not so bad against infantry. I don't think it's a good pick in general for this div because it's only got good optics, so your tanks can't really see or whatever. This is only a Milan 1, so it won't actually kill that. And yeah, those Villingers are very, very effective on this map. So, Blue just sort of forgetting that there are zones and he should capture them. And Red has cap 2, and his is an infantry one. So he's in a very good position to just run down here, unload, throw the smoke, hide behind this and cap the zone. He just needs to remember to do it. And yeah, the Pioneer Flams are pretty crazy. What both players should have is some supply. Here's some for Red. Blue hasn't bought his. Because this will fire all its flam and then it immediately needs to supply. And you should just have like some supply back here, behind all the buildings. Because the faster you repair units, the faster you can send them back in. Like, it does matter quite a lot. Also with these helos, you know, you send it forwards, there's nobody there, you need to send it back. Because otherwise the enemy will just slowly bring up his AA and kill you. And that's what's happened here. This is still just sat there. The plane has now gone back to base, restocked and come back and killed him. So, don't just leave stuff hanging about. This is crazy, man. It's not Wargame Red Dragon, you know? You don't have to leave stuff in the zone to cap it. So, yeah, he's still... Oh, he's loaded it up. So we're getting there. And yeah, this is another strat that both players can use, but Blue is better at. You can just put a Jaguar 2 on that road, a Jaguar 2 on that road, a Jaguar 2 on this road. He's using the Marder 182 Milans for that purpose, and they do work. Just not as well. It's just they come with infantry, which is obviously very useful. So, if you're Blue, you know, you want to stack up one Pioneer Cargo Stav, one Pioneer Flam basically, and just go, this building, nobody there, this building, nobody there, this building, pow, 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 fire all your flams, fall back, supply should be behind this one, or behind this one, and then you heal, and then you rotate, and then you rotate, and then you rotate. And that's just, the faster you can get stuff done, the more you're going to win. So, as much as, you know, these are strategy games, the execution is incredibly important. Like, you can get to the... so I played Age of Empires 4 for 100 hours and I got into the top 10%, and every game was live streamed. It was like less than 100 hours playtime, I got into the top 10% of players on the 1v1 leaderboard. Most people don't play 1v1 because it's too hard for them, so... And I just had one strat. So there was no strategy, it was just click fast, click fast, click fast. So clicking fast is very important, and sadly, you know, people, they don't get enough sleep, right? They don't click fast. Because, yeah, the idea is, so if you're against a guy who can click fast, he's just going to, like, pop forwards, see a guy, and he'll either take the fight or be like, oh, I'm not going to win that. Ping, you know, F1 click, fall back, RT, bam, jump forwards again, who's left? And you just constantly keep attriting, fighting. But yeah, this is like the opposite of that. Both of these players quite content to just sit there. And this is where things like, yeah, just mass RT purchases come in, and then they just sit there and shell each other for 40 minutes. It is what it is, like you can say, you know, it's... they're playing wrong, but the majority of players play like this. The majority of players play like this, because you gotta play a lot to click fast. Because you gotta know everything you're doing, and you're essentially, even if it's not actively practicing, you are practicing the same movements over and over and over again. I've been playing this game for 4 years, and there are still people who click faster than me. So, there is a lot to it. So yeah, they're just gonna sit there apparently. And in this case, well, buying RT makes a whole lot of sense, because, well... So when you buy the RT, it should fire straight away, because if you just have it sat around, then it's not firing, and it reloads while moving. So the next thing would be to buy a CV for this, and have a CV next to it. And then just fire and, you know, just do something. So... yeah, the other thing is, like, concentration of firepower, so... see a little bit of that from blue, so the idea is, well, if it's just inf versus inf, then you bring your fire support in, and you get as many of your units shooting at once as possible. There is such a thing as overdoing it. If you can't keep up and you just send everybody forwards, well, they're all gonna die when you're not looking. So you do have to be a little bit realistic. But I do like seeing this, right? His fight with the infantry. Okay, infantry didn't work, so the infantry, while it's shooting, you bring up the fire support, and that's how it works in real life as well. Infantry doesn't really kill other infantry. Most of the casualties in war come from artillery and... well, it's mainly artillery, but it tends to be, you know, fire support. The infantry, you know, it's not Call of Duty. Real life ain't Call of Duty. Real life ain't Warno either. So, he's got the recon. For whatever reason, he doesn't bring the Fernspeer. And honestly, deck building in this game is like, there are choices. You do have to make choices. But because there's no phase system, there aren't that many choices. And all it is just a way for noobs to just fuck themselves over completely. So, oh, I didn't bring my best unit. Whoops. Because I don't know, because nobody's told me. Yeah. So, we got the RT party, but this guy, I mean, he bought his RT. Maybe this is on counter battery. As soon as this fires, we'll get our answer. Sadly, it doesn't tell the spectator if it's on counter battery. Then the other thing is, if nobody's really doing much fighting, the map starts to very, very, very quickly build up. Each row is 9, so there's like over 100 units there. There you go, they were on counter battery. So, that's fair enough. And he's got the CV next to them, so I think he'll get this, especially given that he sold the transport, so it's just some Toad RT. He's probably going to get smacked now. So the Pioneer Flam are really, really good, and like this should come forward to this building. This is the issue with firing off your spawn road as well, is that, well, your other guys are getting wounded. Yeah, you don't want to sell that transport because how are you gonna, you know... But yeah, this RT's kind of bad, so even though he didn't move, he just doesn't kill him. So that's just the way it is when you play in Paris. And yeah, you'd expect blue to, you know, get a CV. But whatever, this guy's sat here. You could send him to the RT, so the RT's got a buff. Or you could just leave him there for the whole game and forget he was there. So with the Pioneer Flams, like, yeah, this is why you need the supply with them, because the Pioneers, once they run out of Flams, well, they're just way, way, way less useful than they were before. They're not bad as just a bunch of guys with SMGs, because SMGs are good now, but the whole point is the Flam. And so you fire all the Flams, and then you should have a supply back here, get the Flams back, heal up, go again. Get the Flams back, heal up, go again. And then like this is good, you know, he's not losing the unit, he's falling it back. You can't always save it, but, you know, more practice, you get better at these things. And, yeah, I mean, so if you're just going to leave it on counter battery all game, then you're not really going to kill anything. So it can be worth at least buying like a mortar, the 120mm mortars this guy gets, and just start shelling this, because it actually does a lot. And then they will counter battery the mortar, and then you counter battery them. So that's better than just waiting for them to shoot. I mean, usually if you buy artillery, you'd fire constantly, because otherwise it's a waste. Or, you know, or have it on counter battery and be waiting. But this guy obviously doesn't play the game a lot, and so he's just got 4 RT pieces sat there. He has fired 1 volley, 2 volleys in total out of the 4 RT pieces. And, yeah, there was a CV back here. So they're engaging a lot now. Typically, you know, if you're red, you probably want the CV, like, here. And... yeah. So this guy, he was dropped out of the building, but he wasn't actually sent back. Maybe he just routed and just left and then unrouted. Or maybe he did it manually. But yeah, blue just not resupplying his flame trooper guys. So they're just gonna die. So there were Rolands around here. He had them moving so they didn't shoot. Okay. So yeah, I mean, it looks like honestly, you'd really be expecting 5th Panzer to be winning here. You buy out all the Leopard 1s at the start, you've got the better RT, you've got the better infantry, honestly, I think you've got the better planes. The Tornado IDS HE and the Tornado IDS cluster are very good. Paris gets air bullied as well quite easily. It actually gets air bullied more easily than 5th Panzer does because its AA is actually worse. But yeah, I don't know, he owns half the zone, but he doesn't want to send the C... Oh, actually, it's gone. He's put it next to the RT. So there you go. And yeah, you just click it, Shift F, click that, and then, or just F click that, and then it'll just follow it around. And so you don't have to manually move it every time, right? And then this should have a queued up move order, so Shift, right click, move. You know, Shift right click enemy, right click ground with Shift pressed. You don't just, oh yeah, I'll remember to move it, because you won't, and then... So, yeah, certainly we are warning ordering here. I don't understand Blue's reluctance to buy the CV. He's got plenty of space. Plenty of space here, could just sit behind these buildings with the CV. Bob's your uncle. He does nail that reservists. Great. And he's lost most of his flamethrower guys, which is like game losing on Factory. You run out of Pioneer Flam, well, that's it. And he's lost at least 3 of them out of 5? 5 at one vet. So this is the last one coming now. These 2 are the last Pioneer Flams. And yeah, the EpiPen are actually just so useful. You want to buy all 3 of those as a matter of urgency, and then obviously, like, usually, against a sort of more switched-on player, he would see the little line, and he would arty this, but then you would move it a lot, just so it doesn't get artied, because the DPS of the EpiPen is actually incredibly high, because it's got 2 separate sniper rifles instead of 1, and it's also special forces, which helps a lot. Max vet. Because, yeah, usually when you've got 2 weapons, it just says FR F2 times 2, and it'll just do twice the damage, twice the suppression. And that's worse than having 2 separate weapons, because if you lose a guy with 1, you know, with 1 times 2, if you lose a guy, then it will only fire 1, whereas if you've got them as separate weapons like this, if you lose a guy, it shoots both. But also because of the statistical probability of hitting things with the artillery, with the accuracy, if you roll twice with 85% accuracy, that's statistically a lot better than rolling once with 85% accuracy for twice the damage. Because your chance of hitting is a lot higher. Or your chance of missing is lower. Well, I suppose they're the same thing. So, hit a plane. And this time it should really die. No, I don't know. No, oh, okay, he just keeps fucking it up, man. Is he moving it before it... Because if you just give it an attack move order, he's lost one of his arty pieces. If you just give it an attack move order, then as soon as it leaves the range, it starts moving, and that means it just misses. Whereas otherwise, because it's radar, it would track for like 2 seconds. So you don't want to be doing that. And typically what you would do is, you know, you'd put it like here, because it's in cover, and it's way closer, so you will shoot more. Because look, you notice they're not really engaging. He's done it again, man. You know, I'd make such a bad teacher in a school. It would just, it's like you've made the same mistake multiple times. Right? Students, strap him down, it's time for his lobotomy. So, yeah, this you wouldn't really expect to reliably kill a 3 top armor thing. Is he still moving it? I like missing! Yeah. Anyway. One of my teachers got done for, he picked up a kid, and basically we had like a lower year, so the kindergarten, we call it reception, next door. Well, we were in year 5, so we were like 9. Or 10. So the cluster, that was actually decent attack, but the plane was up and he finally stopped moving his AA around. So obviously once it fires, you need to move it. Maybe that is what he's doing. Anyway, he was like, "You belong in reception." And he picks him up and he starts trying to shove him through the door to reception. And the kid, like, this look, classroom's full of like 4-year-olds, and we're like 10. And the 4-year-olds are just staring at this kid screaming while the teacher's picked him up and he's trying to push him through the door sideways, so he's whacking his head on the side of the door. Anyway, nothing happened to that teacher. I mean, why would it? You belong in reception. But yeah, you can see that Blue just has an easier time of it. His infantry's better, and you know, if you just buy it and walk forwards, yeah, your chances of winning are pretty high. Meanwhile, Red, his infantry ain't that great, and he did get the roll of 3, but he got side shot there by Leopard 1. It's a shame because he knew it was there because it was shooting across, so you don't really have to take that fight. And you could also move this forwards and kill it. You know, just move this forwards and kill it, and then bring out the, you know, you've got this right here. Well. Huh. What can I say? RNG is a big part of this game, but you can, if he had used this, just sent that forwards, well, that would have probably got it. And also you'd be fine with 2 things instead of 1, and so on. I'm pretty sure you gave it a right-click order, so it was just spazzing out, so it was moving. That's not gonna... Oh, I'm really surprised that worked, actually. Usually rockets don't do a whole lot to vehicles. It did have like less than 1 HP. But yeah, you don't really want to just be diving the enemy jets and hoping they don't hit you. The issue this game has is that, well, sometimes they won't. And so it just teaches you the wrong lesson. Sort of encourages gambling. Well, yeah, he's realised his mistake. You don't want to just fly over the middle of the map and lose all your guys to missiles. But yeah, so Blue, he got his infantry and he sent it forwards, and now he's winning. I did like the mortar play here to take out that tower. Although it is gone now, you can stop doing that. But it is very good to get mortars on this map because, well, you know where they're going to be. At this point, you'd control group it and you'd sort of aim it here or whatever. Sadly, it's still only one EpiPen. He doesn't want to bring his best unit. He doesn't bring the Gig in either, but at the moment Gigan's kind of crap, so I understand why not. So he's going to fly over all the AA now. Yeah, I mean, you don't want to get baited into doing that. If you really wanted to do that, you would come out around here and then fly at him, because then, you'd get around the AA issue. Well, it would still hit you, you just have longer to shoot missiles before it starts shooting. So Blue just needs to kind of close it out, so you get to these buildings, like he's at this one, bring up the supply, he is doing that. Come here, see what's up, loads of guys fall back, arty that, whatever. Remember to move your arty. He's just not moving the toad ones. Yeah, I mean, that was, like, not a good idea. It's just, there's loads of AA there. It's like, well, how do I kill the tank? Well, look, your choices aren't tank lives, tank dies. Your choices are feed plane and tank lives, or don't feed plane and tank lives. And in that case, you would obviously choose to not feed the plane. So, he's just walking towards the enemy. Is he going to pop his smoke? He is. I don't think this is such a good idea, because this guy should just run into that smoke and kill him. He's only got 4 HP. But yeah, it's good that he's moving building to building. But we want one on this building. The issue is the Pioneer Flam. Right, now what? Pioneer Flam's gonna waste this guy. Yeah, he just can't hang about. He needs to switch the arty off counter battery for once, and then just like hit that and, move it. Like, you don't have to just leave it on counter battery for the whole game. It is good that he's using his mortars against the units. And yeah, you can put that in there, then you've got good optics. Buy some more MMG teams. You want like a Milan in there again. You want the rest of your EpiPens. I just don't think he's going to buy him for the rest of the game. It's really depressing because that's his best unit, and he only bought one of them. They're not that expensive either. That's a mortar target right there. You need to remember to resupply these. He's doing the thing again. Apparently it didn't go badly enough last time. And look at that, he made it out. So there you go. Now we'll do it again, because he's like, oh, that worked, wow. So yeah, blue needs some more recon, as does red. I mean, if you see the enemy first, you can do something. Yeah, especially with, like, seeing something like this. From there, you could see it if you had recon. These guys, you can put it in there, and then he's got good optics because he's got security. He gets better optics when he stood still. And then, yeah, so he's using the mortars, and honestly, it will do something. If your opponent doesn't react, it will do something. Like, he's still got 2, this one just fell back. That shouldn't have one-shot that, it must have been a side shot. So yeah, what does red do? What does red do? He can't use his planes because there's too much AA. And his infantry's worse, and his armor's worse, and his arty's worse. So what do you do? I mean, beats me, man. You just gotta try and outplay your opponent. Sadly, there's like been absolutely no flanking action whatsoever. You can, you know, there's nothing stopping you from coming around here and trying to sort it out. The issue you're going to have, though, is that neither player has long-range AA. So yeah, you see, this has the same range as the... Well, it's actually less. It's less than the Roland. Right, sorry about that. So, he's using the tanks, right, sending them forwards, supporting the infantry, sending them back, but if he had a lux with them, then he'd actually be able to see. And then he'd be able to do a lot more shooting, so that is important. And the other thing is, this is why Leopard 1s are better in this instance, because, well then, they're like half the price. So you shoot twice as fast because you got twice as many, more or less. So you can get more fire support on the target. But yeah, the red player, I mean, he's trying to sort of remass his guys. He's not been spending his income, so here it comes. He does have some advantages, like the AMX-30B2 with the autocannons, like really nice infantry fire support. So he can do the same thing, but sort of better because he's got more cheaper tanks. But then the Leopard 2 comes into play because the Leopard 2 is good against enemy medium tanks. So it's about bringing cost-effective counters. Yes, a Leopard 2 will kill an infantry in a building, but 4 Leopard 1s will kill it much faster for the same price. Or 3 Leopard 1s for the same price. So yeah, you see stuff like the sniper. It's doing a whole lot. Like, and if you got to be paying attention because it doesn't make a big sound. And look how fast it kills you. So if you're not looking, you just lose the unit. And the solution is to just arty it, because he only gets 3 of them. So here you go. He's sending both out at once, which that's kind of how you do it, right? So you would buy planes for a few minutes, and then you would send a rocket one out first, and then the rocket one would get hit by the AA, and then you'd send all the rest to hit all the AA positions, and that's the best way of doing it. And if they're all at once, then most of them make it out. So he's moving it after it shoots now. Maybe he was doing that the whole time, it just didn't look like that. Certainly didn't look like that at the start. So, yeah, blue just back to not having enough supply. He's got the arty here. Same for the crow towers. After the AA shoots, you got to move it for this reason. But for whatever reason, oh, they're stuck on each other. So he's noticed, he's moving them. Apparently he really wants to send them over here. I don't know, man. I mean, it's obviously not a super high level game, so I got no clue what is going on. I cannot delve into the minds of the players. Maybe if I drink some paint thinner, I can sort of, you know, begin to understand. Hey, bought the second and the third snipers. Yeah, very, very useful unit. The thing is, yeah, you don't want to sell the military police vehicle. And look, he's not. Look, it's Mayer, the captain of the German Air Force in World War II. So, yeah, the point of the heavy tank, this is like a sort of a lighter heavy tank, is that it beats medium tanks. And medium tanks beat light tanks, right? And light tanks beat IFEs, so... yeah. There is a circle, the way these things are supposed to work. So yeah, blue kind of overextended himself a bit. He's lost some units. He bought a plane. The plane died and didn't really kill much. So that's a problem. He's finally bought some mortars, so maybe he can get some of his own fire support on. Although his opponent just sort of stopped using his. So yeah, that's a good usage of planes sniping this, because well, the AA is going to be over here. The issue is, of course, the F4F, but he was not microing that properly. Right, looks like this is the big attack. He's going around the sides. This is a +2. And he's noticed, oh shit, I'm being attacked. So, yeah, especially, so if one of your side units gets sniped like that, and the enemy starts flying a recon helo around there, you can be pretty confident of what's going to happen. Now, the big advantage of 5th Panzer is that you can just grab these Leopards, all of this, right? And you can just immediately throw it into the stone, because his units are fast and maneuverable, but You'd be surprised at how rare that is. People are just like, well, it's here, and I might as well use it here. It's like, yeah, but you know it's on tracks, right? It's not infantry. It goes really fast. It's one of the fastest tanks in the game. You'd get there pretty quickly, and then you would fix this problem. And then you could just send them back. So don't be afraid of, but like, look, instead he's just like, oh crap, I'm being attacked to the side, so I gotta push forwards into the +1 when my opponent is taking a +2. So it doesn't take a genius to figure out what's going to happen there. But no, he seems pretty determined. Yeah, and like also this is just infantry grind hell, so you're not going to get places very fast. You should have focused on the EpiPen. Double EpiPen's worth losing this for, because it's like his best unit. He gets 3 of them, and it is very powerful. Very powerful anti-infantry unit. And he's managed to keep all 3 alive, although he's only been using 1 for most of the game. So yeah, blue. I mean, he might make it here, but this is a +1. So yeah, red doesn't get the Paristiv doesn't get a single minstrel for whatever reason. Yeah, the leopard 2 died to the big blob there, and it also doesn't get. I was going for the CV. Okay, I thought he'd go for that, but that's fair enough. The CV was closer. There was AA there. Well, it ran out of ammo. Could be if you kept going, it would just keep shooting at you. So sensible. But yeah, imagine if he just swung it around here and just come down this way. These tanks are light, and you would just kill everything, and then you would need some recon. So he doesn't want to bring the Lux for whatever reason, so tanks can't see that much. And there you go, the EpiPen's finally been found, although if they kill this, maybe they'll disappear into the ether, and they're killing it pretty fast. Autocannons really need to do a little bit more, frankly. Yeah. I wouldn't say like a lot more, but the fact of the matter is that 250 cals beats 1 autocannon now, and it's like, well, 250 cals is usually cheaper, so... So yeah, blue, I mean, he's doing it. But yeah, Paris doesn't get the minstrel, and it doesn't get the Apolas, so you actually do struggle with killing armor. This is pretty interesting, actually. I mean, how much will he go for this? He should go for this. That's a +2. He doesn't have the recon. Like, this is such a strange way of doing things. Like, the foxes should be in front of these. These should be behind the leopards. He's moving instead of shooting. I knew he was doing that. I knew he was doing that. I just couldn't conclusively prove it. Well, for whatever reason, that missed and that didn't drop. So, yeah, I mean, he's still got the CV. He's going to send the Roland straight into the enemy. Is he going to come take the +2? Well, he's going to struggle to do that now, isn't he? This didn't have an order, and just sort of... Well, it didn't have an attack order, just sort of flew over all the Rolands and died. He probably lost vision. He probably can't see these anymore. So the EpiPen is still there, because they did the Vanishing Act once they killed the infantry. Finally go down there. Blue could have won that. All he had to do was go for the +2, but he just gave up. Rank 652. Rank 467. So there you go, you know, you don't have to be a mega sweat to enjoy Warno. You can play it, and you can, like, even in 1v1. And the guys who play 1v1 are, like, a lot better than the guys who play team. So... You know, if you're like, oh, I'm scared, just play 10v10, and after that, you'll still be scared, but you'll be scared for the future of society, as opposed to scared about your own skill level. You'll be like, my god, how on earth does society support so many people like this? No wonder we're in debt. Speaking, of course, of the 10v10 plays. But yeah, that was pretty entertaining towards the end. It just comes down to, you know, the more you play, the faster you can click, and then the faster things happen, and then kind of the better it looks for the spectators, because things are happening. Anyway, I'll see you around. GG.